You need to bet on your strengths and don't give a f about what you suck at. You're gonna, way too many people in this room are gonna spend the next 30, 40 years of their lives trying to check the boxes of the things that they're not as good at, and that you're gonna waste a lot of time and lose. I highly recommend auditing yourself, or if you have no empathy or EQ or self-awareness, then find somebody in your family or friendship that does and let them tell you who you are. And once you believe that, either for yourself or someone else told you, go directly all chips all into that, because that is the only possible way, in my opinion, watching from the outside, that is, let me rephrase, that is a very highly likely way of over-indexing, because the truth is, if you want to be an anomaly, you've got to act like one. You know, like, and so that's it. That's what I got. So thanks for having me.
One definition that I have for a good team is a group of people that makes better decisions as a whole than would individually make as a sum of the parts. And when you're, I think most smart people like learning, right? And I mean, that's like one of the thrills of starting a company, right? Is you're just, the learning curve can be so steep. And if you can set up a team dynamic where you're constantly learning from the people around you, then I mean, what's better, right? It's like, these are the people I wake up every morning and I want to go learn from and work from.
Is that one of your heuristics for hiring people too, to like hire people that you learn from?
Yeah, and when building a team, you want to think about the dynamics, so that way you can maintain this property that the team makes better decisions as a group than any individual.
How did you get the expertise to be the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company?
I do have a physics background. That's helpful as a foundation. And then I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people.
You're self-taught?
Yeah. Well, self-taught, yes, meaning I don't have an aerospace degree.
So how did you go about acquiring the knowledge?
Well, like I said, I read a lot of books, talked to a lot of people, and have a great.
One of my weak points in my personal life is I don't like technical stuff. So even though I have to be on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, I don't care for that. So guess what? I find somebody who loves to do that. You know, I find somebody who has a strength where I have a weakness, and I partner with them. All you're trying to do is get to the goal. No one gets there by themselves. Everybody needs help. Now, when you know what you got going for you, be confident, not cocky. Managing your strengths, knowing what they are, and don't let nobody talk you out of it. And that gets you fight ready. You get fight ready like that. You got to know you. Helps you develop your skills. All the while, you're developing your strength. You just got to keep developing your strength. Don't let anybody talk you up. At the same time, you must work on improving your weaknesses. So I've had to, in spite of myself, get on Instagram, get on Twitter, get on Facebook. I got to do the videos whether I want to or not, because the world is moving to social media. If I had as many followers as Kim Kardashian, I probably wouldn't even have to do this TV show.
When somebody comes and says, John, I want to be a leader, I always ask them the question, why? Why do you want to be a leader? I mean, do you want to be a leader because you want a corner office? Do you want to be a leader because you like to be in control? Do you want to be a leader because you love to be in the front of the pack? Do you want to be a leader because you want to have a good parking place? Why do you want to be a leader? Because leadership isn't easy. Leadership a lot of times isn't fun. Leadership a lot of times is kind of lonely. There's only one reason to be a leader, and that is to add value to people. And you and I will only add value to people if we truly value them. I have a nonprofit organization, Equip, that's trained almost 2 million leaders internationally around the world. And I kid you not, as I go to developing countries twice a year and I travel internationally and I sit down, sometimes I have the privilege of being in the offices of presidents of countries. And as I watch these developing countries, the thing that is the cardinal sin among leadership so much is that they have leaders of their countries that truly don't value the people. And if you and I don't value people, we will devalue people. Number two, if you want to add value to people, you have to make yourself more valuable. You just have to get better. You have to keep growing. You have to keep learning. You have to keep developing. Why? Very simply. If you're leading the pack, you've got to be able to give what you have, and you can't give what you don't have, and so therefore you've got to put a lot of good stuff in so that you can pass it on to others and share with them and add value to them. Thirdly, if you want to add value to people, you have to know and relate to what other people value. You and I have to walk slowly through the crowd. We have to listen. We have to care. You see, great leaders are first of all listeners, and then they're learners, and then they're leaders. They really do take their cue from the people. They understand that the key of leadership is connecting with the people that you lead, and the only way that you and I ever connect is by caring enough to listen. Number 4 is very important to me. When I'm speaking in the business community, I always share with them that for them there are 3 ways to add value to people, but for me there are 4. And I tell them I'll give them the 3. And so I'll spend maybe an hour doing those 3 things I just shared with you, talking about how to add value to people. And inevitably, when I'm done with the 3, somebody raise their hand and say, John, you said that for you there was 4, but you said there's only 3 for us. I said, yes, it's nothing personal, but this is about my faith. And so I don't really need to share this with you. It's because I'm trying to help you, and I don't want to cross boundaries with you. And inevitably they'll say, but John, tell us what yours is. And I'll say, well, okay, you can hear mine, but don't write it down. In fact, don't listen. Because number 4 for me is, if I really want to add value to people, I have to do the things that God values.
Learning is a lifelong thing. It doesn't end at Harvard Business School. It's your responsibility. I think if you're in any profession at all, you have to do it consistently all the time. I think I spend probably 50 or 60% of my time learning, reading, talking to people, traveling. It's the only way you can keep on top of this global world of ours. And it's even tougher now because of the globality of the businesses you're all going to deal in. How? Reading is the most important one. But the second one, which is often forgotten, is talking to other people. You can learn more from speaking to people in 15 minutes than if you spent your life doing something. They can explain it to you, and you can learn from watching people. You also are going to learn by, I'm going to call it imitation, but by watching other very good people and how they operate in difficult circumstances. I learned a lot of things what not to do and a lot of what to do by watching other people.
It must feel good when you can say, I told you.
Definitely.
What does that title mean?
Exactly that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the feeling of I told you.
Right.
You know, that's kind of how I felt about my music for years. You know, I felt like my music is, it may have not been the greatest, but it was at a level that was higher than a lot of people, you know, at least the quality of music that a lot of people were putting out. All throughout the times that I've been putting out music, you know, match the times that they've been putting out music.
Right.
And so I've always kind of felt like, you know, one day somebody has to see this, you know, and for all the people that I told and they just doubted me, and like time after time when I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yo, please just believe me. And everyone just looked at me and just like, I don't see it, you know, and no matter what, I would explain to them, yo, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this like this. And I even, you know, despite the times when I was homeless and I was sleeping in the back of cars and trying to figure it out and telling people, like, just listen to what I have, you know what I mean? I'm thugging it out, going to the studio every single night, sleeping in my car. Not even my car, just somebody's car. Like,
how long were you homeless, Tori?
I was homeless
several times, yeah.
Yeah, several times, 2 different times in my life. The first time I was homeless for like 2 months. Second time I was homeless for like, not long, like 2-3 weeks.
Man, those are long ass days.
When
and
you don't have nowhere to go, those nights and those days are longer than anything.
And so when you say I told you, it's not like, man, like, you know, it's like, man, like, yeah.
It's like,
I told you.
like, I told you guys, like this is really like, I want you to know I told you that I would be here. I told you that one day before they try to sweep up albums and before they try to sweep up CD, real physical sales, I will have something on the shelf. I told you. It's not that you, you know, prove what you have to prove to yourself for them. You do that for yourself.
Right.
But you also do have something to prove to them as well.
I always tell
they
cats,
doubted you.
I say, man, proving me right at the same point, I'm proving you wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in me. You know, and it's crazy because even when you get on tour, you say, man, and you know how you're like, oh man, I'm signed here or this is about to happen. And then certain things don't happen. You get people that also count your failures. Like, man, I thought that was going, it didn't go for you. You know what I'm saying? So you even get to a point, you stop telling people what your plans are.
That's true.
You
and
know?
I think I've experienced that a lot of times, just being in places where, like, you know, I've had a lot of you were down when you thought something was hot and then it didn't pop. And then instead of like recouping back with us and believing like, all right, let's come up with the next plan, it's just a fall off. So I've had to deal with so many people falling on and off the trail and the track. And so I told you it's to them too.
I love to work. I do feel sometimes, weirdly enough, when it comes to filmmaking, I feel less stressed when I'm actually on set, when it's those few weeks of actually filming. And I do love the preparation work. So it's hard. The word ambitious, I guess, comes out of pure passion. So then it's nothing you kind of tell yourself to sit down and do the work. You kind of just want to do it. I love making films. So really, that's my biggest passion, and I feel extremely lucky every time I get one more chance to try and do it again.